I'd like to introduce you today to the Universal Clamp by Solar Innovations that are for standing seam metal roofs when trying to attach a load to them. Typically that's been a hard thing to do, but we think we've developed a product here that does it well without damaging the roof seam at all. So basically the Universal Clamp has a couple different components. The first being the swinging hammers within the clamp body. These allow for pressure along the entire length of the hammer on the seam, which doesn't cause any damage or dimpling to the seam. The set screws on the side allow you to put pressure and to tighten the clamp around the seam. And then on top you have the attachment bolt, which you would attach the load to, whether that be racking for PV, whether that be conduit, or it could be signs, anything of that nature. Our original clamp, which we refer to sometimes as the first generation, was a single body clamp. This one, the installation, a lot of times you would have to install it at the bottom of the roof seam and then slide it up in place. And that way you would have to go to the edge of the roof, put it on the seam, and slide it up to where you wanted to install whatever load you were attaching to the roof. The second version of the Universal Clamp that we developed after listening to a lot of feedback from people is a two-piece body. So that way you can take out the attachment bolt and you have two pieces. Instead of having to slide it from the bottom of the seam, you can actually take it to the point where you want to install it, put it together, add the attachment bolt, and it makes for a much easier installation. So once you get the Universal Clamp to the position that you want on the seam, you take a 3/16 Allen wrench and you tighten each set screw so that the clamp is centered over the seam. And then you want to pull up to make sure that it is attached tightly. And then you would take your load, whether it be any type of PV rack or it might be conduit, and you secure it onto the clamp with the attachment bolt. And you need a 9/16 wrench or socket to do that. And then you tighten. Once you have the clamp tightly around the standing seam, you want to check it with a torque wrench so that it is tightened to 16 to 20 pounds per foot, which the attachment bolt is. And make sure that the set screws are also tightened to 16 to 20 pounds of torque. Periodically, you're going to want to check your universal clamps to make sure that they are tight and that the set screws and the attachment bolt are within the torque range of 16 to 20 foot-pounds. Here's many of the models of universal clamps that we offer. Again, we have the single body clamps here, and then we have the two-piece adjustable clamps here. They come with various hammers to fit certain seams. All this information is on our website, so you can easily decide which one best fits your seam. We have both small and larger versions of the clamps to fit most any size seam that is out there today on the market.